Welcome to my channel. It's so nice to see you. If you just ended on this page by mistake, my name is GéNIA and I am a pianist and composer. And I decided to launch a series during this difficult time called Quarantine or Paradise. And the idea was to introduce some amazing guests who kindly agreed to share their tips to those of us who are fortunate enough to be well, but still confined at homes and find it quite difficult because it is quite a difficult time. So today I'm so thrilled because my guest is beautiful, wonderful presenter, actress, and how she describes herself on her YouTube channel, Show Off. Jo Good. Welcome, Jo.
GéNIA, I've been following this series and I think it is such a good idea. I wish I'd thought of it, to be honest. And I'm always proud that you consider me as a friend because you're probably the most highbrow friend I have. I mean, you're extremely talented, very academic, and I love the fact that we know each other. But what I love about you is you have, if you don't mind my saying so, the common touch in that you love beauty and clothes and parties and all those sort of things, and that we connect on that as much as your music. So I'm really chuffed you've asked me to do this.
Oh, thank you. But again, I can tell you the first time when we met, I don't remember how many years ago, maybe 5, 7?
Probably 7.
7, yes. So I got a call from EPTA, which is European Piano Teachers Organization. And at that time, BBC was introducing this series where the musicians were teaching television and radio presenters to play piano. But the idea was that they all learn something offline and then boom, they go and play something at their show. And suddenly the head of EPTA calls me and she says, look, there's one radio presenter, but she wants to have lessons live. And I called all the musicians, all the teachers, and no one wants to do it. And I said, I'll do it. But of course, I was really nervous. You know, I always say yes. And I said, oh my God, what I got myself into. And then first I look at your profile and I was so happy to see that you are a yoga fanatic because yes, that's what unites both of us. And then the moment I entered your studio, I felt so loved and you made me feel so comfortable and it was amazing. And then we did this series for 6 weeks. I think I was teaching you.
We certainly did. And I have my yoga mat here actually, because I think we'll probably talk a bit about yoga, especially at this time, because what a gift to be able to do yoga. But yes, it was the coming together of two minds, is that we both loved yoga. We're both tiny people. And I loved the fact you said to me, you started practicing yoga originally, not just for your head, but physically, to be able to get your hands to stretch, because you've got a tiny pair of hands that achieve so much.
Oh, thank you. So I wanted to ask you, because obviously you've been a presenter. First, I think you established yourself as an actress, as far as I remember, because I was also fortunate enough to come to your talk, which you did at the Hospital Club, I think a year ago, which was fascinating. Then you became a presenter, and then you became BBC presenter. And how many years have you been? Because I looked online, it said 3, but it's not true.
No, gosh, I've been a BBC. I've worked at the BBC as a presenter for 25 years now, so a long time. But yes, I came through the acting field, and I don't think I was particularly a very good actress. I got a lot of work because I was young and pretty, and they were looking for that sort of Dolly Bird type thing. So I got a lot of work, but it was when I got into radio, I found my happy place, and I love it, and it enables me to do so many other things just simply because they give me 3.5 hours a day to fill the air, which takes a lot of production. But yes, it's opened so many doors for me.
Yes, but I know there's so many groups on Facebook who love you. There's Joe Good Appreciation Society and someone else. So people like your audience really, really loves you and connects with you, and they talk to you as you are their friend and you're sitting next door. And that's how I felt when I just walked into your studio. So it was always like it was amazing, always amazing experience to come and see you. Now, 2 years ago, I think you started something new. You started a new venture. You started your vlog, which I now follow, and I know it's now twice a week. So one day it's about beauty, and one day it's about what's happening in London. So first of all, what inspired you to start that?
Well, and can I just explain? I don't know if Matilda's in vision here, but my bulldog is here.
It is, certainly.
He's making a lot of grunting noises, so this isn't me that's breathing heavily. This is Matilda. So yes, I started YouTube. Now I live alone, and I don't have children, and I've never actually wanted children. So I live quite a solitary existence, which lends itself to this quarantine or paradise, whatever you want to call it, very well, because I love my own company and I'm used to my own company, and my dog she's a heartbeat that shares this flat with me. But I started vlogging because I was obsessed by watching people on YouTube, not learning how to do things, but that's our fire alarm. Sorry, they just test it. Everybody, this is what happens in London. I'm not going to run away, GéNIA. They test it every so often. So yes, I love watching people on YouTube. I love seeing, I'm very voyeuristic. I love seeing people's domestic lives playing out. And then I thought, I live a very bizarre life for a 65-year-old woman. I'm living in a high-rise, beautiful mansion flat, but it's tiny in the middle of Marylebone. And I work at the BBC. But I have quite an interesting life because I'm expected to go out to all the openings. I'm expected to go to all the parties. I'm expected to interview all the A-listers. I'm expected to stand on the red carpet and interview people, and then sometimes walk down the red carpet and be interviewed. It's a bizarre life. So I thought I will film my life. It's arrogant, I know it is, expecting people to find it interesting, but because I find other people's lives interesting, I am such a voyeur that I thought I would have something to offer. So I started to vlog, and it just grew. I would vlog once a week, 10-minute vlogs, just about me, my busy little life in Marylebone. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. And I am really pleased to say I now have 20,000 subscribers. But more than that, they are a community who comment on everything I do and then comment on each other's comments. So my radio show is a community, and my YouTube channel is a community. And they're not the same audience because I don't cross-pollinate very often. I don't promote it on the BBC, but I do promote the BBC on my YouTube channel. But there is this wonderful community, and I am really proud of that. But one of the things that I find fascinating being in lockdown is those boundaries are, the walls are getting closer and closer because I'm not out doing this, I'm not out doing that, but I'm still posting 2 YouTube vlogs a week, and I have to find content. So, as a creator, often it's when you're challenged, if you're working to a deadline, if you've got to work within boundaries, you often produce more creative work. Now, I'm not saying me making soup is any more creative, but I've got to somehow entertain my 20,000 viewers within these 4 walls usually. And GéNIA, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I can see that, and I have to tell you that every time I feel a bit like icky, I look at your video and I always feel better. And what I also like is the transparency and that kind of, transparency. When you can see real you can see real things, simple things. And I think, oh, someone else has the same problem. When I saw your problem with moths there, so I said, yes, I know, because I'm terrified of moths every year, so things like that.
And I think in these extraordinary circumstances, we're all going back to this fundamental earthy. You're a protege, and you're talking about watching me talk about cloth moths, eating my cashmere. But it's these things that suddenly become really important to us because all the outside distractions have gone. So yes, what to do when you open your drawers and half your clothes have been eaten by a moth? It takes on enormous proportions. So these sort of things are really interesting. And me talking about beauty, I mean, for heaven's sake, a lot of these so-called influencers are ridiculed for sitting talking about beauty, but we've got a lot of time on our hands. So why not invest in yourself? Why not think, okay, look, all my grey is showing, all my roots are showing, but I'm going to, put a hair mask on, try and make this bleach bit a bit better condition. I'm going to put face packs on. If I am going to be stranded in this flat, I'm going to come out looking a damn sight better than before the lockdown, albeit greyer.
You look fabulous, actually. I want to say you look fabulous. And I think that since you started doing this vlog, you cut your hair, you change your style, and yes, you look amazing. Really amazing. So I love it. Yes, when lockdown started, I got all my makeup and all things, and I thought, you know what, even if they find me dead in a flat, I want to look beautiful.
You will always, what I love, everybody, about GéNIA is I've seen you play in so many concerts, and I love, and everyone should take note of this, in fact I should do a whole blog on it, is how you look from behind, because it's so often, it depends where your piano is placed, but we're so often looking at the back of you, and I love the creations you wear because the back is as important as the front. In fact, I think I will do a blog on that.
Oh.
Fashion. And I'm proud of you because sometimes I think we've been led to feel quite embarrassed that we love these things that some people may think are banal and flippant. But I love the fact you play beautiful music, but you love fashion. You love the way you look. You love your shoes and your makeup. I love that because so often people are not allowed to celebrate both.
I think life, by default, actually, I think what we both share, there's so many beautiful and amazing things in life, so why don't we embrace them? I like a lot of things. It's what my mother says to me, you like so many things that sometimes I want to do this, try this and this, but why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Can I ask you about what you're eating in this situation? Because yes, I have started, I don't cook, but I have started now to make this hearty soup, which I make on a Monday. I can't believe I'm telling you this. And I eat it throughout the week, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's, again, this feeling of going back to health and earthiness and just eating good seasonal food. Now, you love your food, so I'm asking you this. So many people said to me, come to this Russian restaurant and we'll have this and we'll do this, and love the finer things in life. What are you doing about food?
Well, I had a little bit of a concern for a while having fresh food because, but I did a lot of research and it looks like it's okay to have fresh food, but we never know where this terrible thing can come from. So for quite a long time, I was eating only cooked vegetables, slightly cooked, and I got a bit tired from that, and so it's hard for me. Although in Chinese culture, my acupuncturist always told me, please don't eat, if you want to have fresh food, only have it in the mornings. Don't have it never before going to sleep. And in general, it's always better to have slightly cooked vegetables.
Really?
So for that kind of slightly upset my diet because I love a lot of salads, but I minimize that. And now but I couldn't. I think for 4 weeks I was eating no salads, nothing. Now I tried because it's impossible. But otherwise, I eat a lot of vegetables, but I also like soups almost every day. Sometimes I cook. Sometimes I get pre-cooked. It depends. That I have both, and I like my proteins. I'm afraid to say I'm not vegetarian. I try to be vegetarian, but very simple, very good food. Everything which I can, when I cook for myself, I cook everything which is healthy, quick, simple, but good quality, you know.
May I ask, are you missing, because you're a very sociable person, and I was listening to Grayson Perry on the radio this morning because he's offering art online. He's doing art classes online, and he says he's suffering because he's a real social butterfly and he's missing going to parties. And I am not. I'm almost a professional extrovert in that people think I love going out. And GéNIA, I am loving the fact that my only social appointment is clapping for carers on a Thursday night. I have nothing else in my diary in the evening. And whether this is because it's a novelty, I don't know. I love the fact I don't have to go anywhere at the moment. Because I suppose I do a radio show and I'm still doing that every day. So I am talking to a lot of people on air. But I love the fact there's no choice. There's no missing out at all, because we're all missing out. So I am not missing social life. Are you?
Well, yes and no, because actually I still have social life. I found new ways because I'm Zooming quite a lot. Oh, Matilda is leaving us. She doesn't like social life, clearly.
She's getting hot. She's lying on the wooden floor now. We'll still hear her. She's like a little engine.
Oh, no, I have actually, I found that this time made me connect with some of my friends with whom I haven't spoke for a year or couple of years. So recently we had a Zoom party with my girlfriends. One was in California, another was in Canada, and things like that. So suddenly groups of people from the past who now, because I have time, I connect, but it's of course it's like this. It's on Zoom. But so from that point of view, I can't say that I'm isolated. In fact, I sometimes feel like it's so many people I want to talk to, and also make sure that they are okay. Some of my friends who are older generations, there are a number of people I call almost every day or text just to make sure that they're fine. But I have to say that I feel that I have more energy because I'm physically not using public transport. And I think that's why I have a lot of creative energy at the moment. I think it made me realize how much energy actually I have. And so I create all the time.
Do you know, I heard the wonderful Prokofiev DJ talk to you on the episode before this.
Right.
And I loved what you said about you can only absorb so much in your head. So that if you are going to do anything, you anything creative, you try to do it in the morning, because in the end your brain fills up. And I often wonder how you work, because I love the fact you're using Babylon as the intro into this. Babylon, and it seems that Babylon fits every occasion. I've heard you play that in so many situations in the East End. I've made you play it literally over the radio on the phone.
You did.
I honestly, and then you use it as an introduction to this series. And Babylon, the word Babylon, and the mood of that music fits. It certainly fits this.
Yeah.
It's sort of, everything being thrown at you, and then out of it comes peace. And it's so interesting what you were saying about we've almost been allowed this peace now to sort of wipe the slate clean and to start seeing things with more clarity. And like you, I usually manage to do that in the morning before my head gets filled up. But at the moment, it lasts longer because we're not here, there, and everywhere. Yes, there are Zoom meetings, but we pace ourselves. It's all on our terms.
Exactly. Do you practice yoga in the daytime or only in the morning, or when do you practice?
I've been trying to get you to come to this class, which is in Darba, in Marylebone.
Mm-hmm.
A massive yoga factory. I love it. It's got some of the best teachers, I think, in the world. They're now offering online Zoom classes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I worry that none of us are going to return to the actual studio classes, because I love these virtual classes. I love the fact I fall out of bed, pin my hair up, practice in a pair of old shorts and a t-shirt, and you can turn the YouTube, you can turn the video off.
Yes.
So I usually have it on because these teachers are so good, they actually correct you. And I do it first thing in the morning, 7:30 usually is my class. And I absolutely love it. And I face, my apartment here looks out at the London Eye and the BT Tower. And I'm literally practicing with the sun coming up. And I've always practiced in the morning. I can never practice at night. I absolutely love it. What about you?
Well, I practice by myself in the morning.
By yourself?
By myself, yes. I do different things. But you see, just before this happened, I got really involved with bar classes. You're doing something similar, but mine is and also something called Latin Burn, which is like Latin dance, and that's in near Bond Street. I used to go every Sunday to do that, and I love it. So that's a little bit hard to do in your apartment. But yes, I practice yoga every morning, and then it's the same. We had a studio, limb studio, just on the bottom of my road, and now they do classes online, so I sometimes join them.
And I think I honestly don't feel that I'm missing out. I actually feel my practice is more focused, actually. I like being in a room full of energy of other people, but I feel it's because I'm using more self-discipline and I'm quite focused doing it here. And it leaves a lovely energy in the room. I have my yoga mat tucked down here, but I'm doing yoga in the room and the apartment I'm living in, and I think it's a footprint for lovely energy. So yes, I'm really pleased about that. There are things that I worry about those people who aren't in the creative industry, who I know because they phone my radio show, who are probably going to have no job to return to. I worry about that. I interviewed a lot of actors who all their shows closed. We had some who were opening on Broadway, who finally got to Broadway, and that show, Six, the musical, is probably never going to open. But part of me, and in no way am I denigrating actors, but actors are used to having to be in and out of work all the time. So, I'm sure you are, I am. If you're freelance and you work in the creative industry, this isn't a new thing to us. I mean, it's new because of our health being threatened and the people who love their health being threatened. But for a lot of creative people, we've had to learn to live on fresh air often, because you never know when you're going to get another gig and when you're going to be booked. Even though I work for the BBC, I'm freelance on a contract. So if my audience go, I go. Simple as that. But I think I've drawn upon those resources in the past. We don't know how long this is going to go on for, but I feel for those people who have families and people who are relying on them. And probably, I live above restaurants here, and they're all boarded up. And the guys that were boarding them up, I said, is this to stop looting? And they said, well, yes, but also the businesses have gone. And that's 5 weeks, and these little independent bars and restaurants probably aren't going to survive, some of them.
I know. I mean, it's very, very difficult. I mean, it's the same with musicians, musicians, performers, composers. We just don't know. But I think what is so important right now is not to get into a panic if we can help ourselves, because by thinking what's going to happen is not going to work. We're only making ourselves feel worse. And so I'm a real big fan of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And there's a tactic there which I started using more and more. Because by nature, for example, if you start telling me a story about some issues with hands, I start feeling pain because I always internalize everything too much and I feel it. And the same with the news. When the news just started, I noticed that I was mentally almost broken. So what I did, the first, I now decide when I look at the news. So I took away all the notifications. So I get myself mentally ready to look at the news. But another thing which I found quite useful, like when we think what happened in the future, how is it going to be there? Try to look at the situation in NLP, they call it from a third perspective. So not as my situation, not as a situation of your friend, but as someone who is observing. As you see the situation as it's part of the movie, you can even imagine it as a black and white. And when you think about it, you kind of getting calmer, and then your kind of rationale comes back. Your emotions calm down, and you think, okay, so we will see. So it's not happening right now. Am I okay right now? Yes. Do you think I'm talking economically okay in the next 7 days? Yes. Great. So let's just be grateful for that. And I think right now it's very important to think in very, very small steps rather than, because we don't know. Everything is.
I think that's a wonderful analogy. And I think you and I practice yoga and mindfulness. I know that word's become a cliche, but you're absolutely right. Everything you're describing, nothing will last forever. I love the way you say you think of it as a movie, because everything keeps changing. It keeps changing. It will change. It will change. And as you say, we're fine now. Hopefully everyone watching this is fine now. We're fine. And things will change, and you can't, because somebody said to me, the future is just your imagination. This is what's happening.
Yeah. So, Jo, any more tips? Because in my series, I always invite guests to give some tips, and then I share some and we discuss. So, can we have one tip from you?
On living in confinement.
Living in confinement, how to make your life more positive.
Do you know what I do this every evening. I dress in the evening. I know that I love my clothes. So it's very easy to slob around and to literally wear what you've been wearing all day long. And often if I practice yoga, I can wear that all the time. I do dress at night for nobody but myself. Vanity-wise, because I am eating more. Having said I stick to my soup, I am eating a lot more. I walk back and forth to the fridge all the time, just grazing basically. So to see whether I actually am still fitting into my jeans, my clothes, but I put something nice on every evening, mainly because that is when I Zoom, when I catch up with people. And I think it's just for myself and for Matilda, who's going to start licking my legs soon because they've got salt. So yes, I think you have to keep your standards up. It's all cosmetic, isn't it? You have to keep your standards up. And I do think practicing yoga, I would urge people. I mean, I'm doing this on my radio show every day, and I can't believe how this has happened and taken off because if I'd done it before quarantine, people would have said, "What is Jo doing? She's just navel gazing." Every single day after 4 o'clock on my show, we meditate.
Yeah, I did it a couple of times. Yes,
brilliant,
wonderful.
And do you know, GéNIA, if I'd done that before this, I would have had all the cabbies going, "Jo, what the hell are you up to now? You're this old hippie who's just..." But we literally get emails from families who've got teenage kids who are upstairs, won't come out of their room, who say, "Right, we're going to come down." We meditate as a family. The animals usually lie down. And the meditation started at 6 minutes. They're now 7.5 minutes long on a radio station that plays music. We all meditate online all over the world, and my management, my producer, everybody, when I look out, they're all doing it. And I just think, if we can just meditate. And meditation, you know, yoga is a meditation. Doing something that takes your mind somewhere else other than the Babylon that's going in it. If you can just calm down, meditate, cleanse your mind, it's like you've dry cleaned your brain and you're ready to start afresh. So meditation and keep your standards up. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Yes, that's I completely agree. I'm trying to do this myself. I would add for me to two things. One, it's kind of similar to what you said. Have once in a day you're looking forward to. Once in a day, it's gonna be something. It can be, I don't know, making that soup or watching the movie or making phone calls, but something you're really looking forward to, your highlight of the day. And also, I would say for people who literally stay at home all the time and have no walks or no stresses from that perspective, still do one thing, which is you really kind of don't want to do, but you know that once you've done it, you would feel great. Because I think it's very, very good. Because if we're always in this kind of very unstressful, slightly lethargic state some people get, you know, from sitting at home and watching movies and eating all the time, make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, because after that you would feel really, really good, you know, like you achieved something. And again, it brings you back to the reality. It wakes you up, you know.
Also, GéNIA, we are, I say this on my radio show, we are living history. This, people, your grandkids will be asked, how did they behave in lockdown? You know, the COVID-19 generation, how did they, you know, when the whole world was told you're in lockdown. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah. How did they behave? Now, you and I cleverly have documented it. This is why this is so important, what you're doing, because this is social history. People will look at this and go, oh my gosh, so that's how they dealt with it. It's really important in a way, and as I say, and you say at the beginning of every video, as long as you're healthy, we're lucky. We are very privileged. There will be people who are watching this who have probably lost people, whose family have been affected or friends have been affected. Whilst you're healthy, this is an extraordinary time to live through, because we are having to test ourselves, aren't we? Which
absolutely, yes.
Live 90 years and never be tested the way we are now, which is why I love what you're doing here. You know, what is your survival kit? What is your survival kit that will keep your mental and physical health going? And yeah, we're all going to be a lesson in history in 100 years' time.
Yes. Jo, thank you so much for joining me today. It's always so inspirational to talk to you. And I want to say to all my listeners that, oh my God, the yoga mat.
Yoga together.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. I just wanted to say to all my listeners that Jo has this amazing channel, and we will make a link underneath this video. And within this video, it's called Middle-Aged Minx, but you look like you are honestly like a teenager. Look at you. So yes, please join us and check all the links. And the main thing, stay healthy and stay well. And I hope that we will reconnect with you again in my series very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jo.
Bye, GéNIA.